Love is a battlefield. True words have never been spoken before that time that those words were spoken. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, by the way, they should be in the top of the description. And we've done all of them up until this season. So season 5 we have, and then by the time of recording this, we only have one more season after that until we get to the rest of the stuff that we can read, which is basically individual, like character stuff. But we got Love is a Battlefield, and the first one we're going to read is Grand Games, where the Grandmaster is talking in this one.
My name is Andregast, but you may call me the Grandmaster. It has a much better ring to it, don't you think? I have watched over this reality since I was first born, billions of years ago. In that time, my fellow elders of the universe and I have amassed enough cosmic power to guide an infinite number of lesser beings toward enlightenment. But if I'm being honest, that sounds like far too much work. And why would I bother working when I could spend all of my days playing instead? Ask any of the elders about me and they'll regale you with stories about grand games I've hosted. From the simplest hand of cards to the most epic tournament, every contest I hold has universal stakes. And though my brethren have proven themselves formidable opponents, they have never matched my skill, despite their best efforts. When you're the best in the universe, with none ever capable of challenging your title, things tend to become quite dull. Thankfully, the game board recently changed. Multiple realities converged, inspiring the elders to merge our own domains together, creating something new and different. A plane of existence where venues such as the Collector's Gallery, my newest joint venture with the gardener, and more exist together in a perfect paradise. While exploring our new realm, I stumbled across something of great interest. A small scrap of paper in the collector's vast accumulation of cosmic ephemera. A contract signed with the name Von Doom, the name of the same mortal whose meddling was said to have caused the chrono crisis currently sweeping across dimensions. Before I could decipher the contract's true purpose, the collector discovered me in his gallery, and I was forced to leave the item behind. But I knew it did not belong on display. Whatever it was, it's got to be one of Doom's high-stake gambits. And who better than me to know how to play a wager to my advantage? It could very well be the ultimate bargaining chip when Doom inevitably dares to challenge the elders directly. The collector has kept a suspicious eye on me ever since. Thus, if I truly wish to obtain this mysterious contract, I will have to do so by proxy. There are only a handful of beings in the entire universe skilled enough to enter the Collector's Gallery undetected and escape with one of his prizes in hand. And of those, there is only one brazen enough to actually accept the job. A mutant from the planet Earth, named Remy LeBeau, or Gambit, as he prefers to be called. A perfect name for a caper this perilous. If my scheme is going to work, my thief is going to have to act fast. As I said before, I have watched over this reality since it was first born, but now I am watching it die right in front of my eyes. And I truly believe that unless something is done to get Doom in check, I might die right along with it. That would be the true tragedy, for there are still so many games left to play.
Now the next one is about to make a name for myself. Good one. good one. They said I'm about to name myself here. Now, I know that the Cajun accent is one of the hardest accents to learn. I haven't learned it yet. I have barely even learned the easiest accents. I'm trying, but like it is so difficult. So I'll try my best, but I don't think I can like really do it to the perfection that it needs right now. So bear with me, you know what I mean? But either way, this is Gambit speaking, and he's talking about, you know, the Grand Garden and stuff, and talking about Rogue and stuff. So let's see. Here we are. The final stop on the whirlwind tour of the galaxy. Turns out this here Grand Garden is just as romantic as I've been told. The perfect place to tempt my cherie, Anna Marie, on a special day to celebrate the end of our interstellar honeymoon. We savored that. Your boy Gambit thought I made an honest woman out of our sweet rogue. Almost all our friends and family were there to witness a special occasion, too. But just as we were about to exchange rings, some sort of temporal storm sent Krakoa hurling through time and space, scattering our fellow mutants across reality. After that, folks were just too busy fighting to keep everything from unraveling. To make time to join us for our first dance. Though I hear some of them did end up at Emma's little Hellfire Gala, which does raise this Cajun's brown puh. Anywho, right after Tata Night, me and Mrs. LeBeau caught aboard a Wakanda's spacecraft, the Storm brought for us, and blasted off into the stars for a trip we never forget. But we didn't just travel to the edge of existence so we could have a perfect picnic under the prying eyes of the elders of the universe. Sure, love may have been a guiding force to bring the two of us here, but our vacation served as an even greater purpose for mutant kind. According to Magneto, at least. At every stop we made along the way from Wakanda to nowhere, we've been planting special flowers that bloom into portals. You know the ones that lead say back to our living island. They the quickest way for our lost kin to find their way back home, no matter where their time string entanglement may have tossed them. And they also put it handy if other X-Men would have come out searching for missing mutants too. So there we were, just having planted a seed in the Grandmaster's garden. When wouldn't you know, we Magneto and the X-Men strode into the portal. They thought they found some missing mutants, but all they found was us enjoying our interrupted honeymoon. Now that we fresh out the seeds, me and Rogue finally have some quality time to relax and enjoy each other's company. And it looks like we got plenty to keep us busy here. From the Coliseum of the Elders to the Collector's Gallery. Of course, there's une petite chance I may have picked up a little side hustle here as well. But that's not something Rogue needs to know about quite yet. Even a married man is entitled to a few secrets, no? Besides, it'll be over and done with before she ever realizes it was a thing. And if I play my cards right, like I always do, she'll be the one who ends up with the real prize, just like she deserves. But I'll worry about it all later. At the moment, the only thing this old thief wants to steal is another kiss from my new bride. Cause when it's just the two of us together, there ain't nothing in the whole universe that can bring me down. So I plan on enjoying my peace and quiet while it lasts. Cause it never lasts long enough. So that was about to make a name for myself. That was not easy to do. And it wasn't perfect, but at least I tried, and hey, that's all that counts, that's all that counts. But either way, we have the next one. And the next one is going to be another passage from the Book of Doom. Pretty much, there's at least one in them of every one of these for the most part. And this one is called Phantoms of the Past. And of course, it's going to be Doom speaking in this one.
A passage from the Book of Doom, 2099. When it comes to the mysteries of the universe, there are few that Victor von Doom has not already solved. But one secret has eluded me for longer than I care to admit, the truth of my own past. To obtain the tremendous power I now possess, the power that has allowed me to thrive for all these years and cement my legacy in this ever-changing world, sacrifices had to be made. And the greatest of those sacrifices was my own memory. The once cherished recollections of my earliest days have been lost to me forever, or so I thought. After the time string entanglement, I began to experience strange visions. A face appeared in my mind, the face of a beautiful woman, and though I swore I did not know her, I instantly felt an inexplicable affection towards her. Like our very souls were somehow intertwined. Every time I closed my eyes, she was there, whispering my name. Every time I closed my eyes, she was there, whispering my name softly. It was as if she was haunting me. Determined to find out who this phantom was, I scoured every historical record I could lay my hands upon, refusing to overlook even a single stray clue. I designed elaborate telepathic devices and even tried to unlock the secrets of my own genes, searching for missing memories from before the fall of the heroic age. But alas, each time she appeared to me, she still vanished into the ether before I could learn more. I began to suspect that someone was actively preventing me from uncovering the truth about her. Worse, it feels almost as if I was being taunted, and Doom is not one to tolerate such insults. Though all technological avenues have been explored, Doom is a man of many means. Thus, I attempted to tap into the power of Chronovium. I had collected a great number of these powerful crystals, forged from pure chronal energy, since the time string entanglement was first set into motion. Perhaps they could unveil the meaning behind these apparitions. After exhausting the power of countless Chronovium crystals and searching across every timeline I could access, the images began to grow clearer. I could see the woman trapped in a hellish dimension, eternally tortured by unyielding flames. She no longer whispered my name lovingly as she had in my earlier visions. Now she cried it out, begging for me to save her. But every time I tried to reach out to her, the Chronovium would shatter and the vision would end. Still, all was not lost. It was in those broken crystal shards that I first saw it. A faint image of a piece of parchment, some sort of contract, and though its full details were obscured, I could read a portion of the name inscribed upon it, Cynthia. Whatever purpose this document served, I knew it would be the key to finding this woman, and perhaps finding myself. I scoured the known universe for information on its whereabouts and soon came to believe it might be in the hands of the elder of the universe known as the Collector. This cosmic being is not one who parts with his treasures freely, but Doom will not be denied his prize. I'm pretty sure he's talking about his mom, so where his mom is sort of like he wants to save her from Mephisto and stuff, and he's trying to find any way to do it. So this is just another way that he can try to find to save her, which seems to be kind of his like thing. It's kind of like his thing that he does, and I respect it. I mean, I would too. I mean, I don't know that I go to the great lengths that Doom goes to. But, if there was a chance, you might as well go for it, you know what I mean? But that one was Phantoms of the Past. And then the next one is Trouble in Paradise. And it seems like Galacta is talking in this one. We've got a major problem, rivals. If you're like me and you came into this season of love hoping for a happy ending, I'm afraid I may have some bad news. Your girl Galacta's been keeping a close eye on the new Mr. and Mrs. LeBeau ever since they first stepped onto the battlefield. And it's not just because those two lovebirds seem to fight in perfect sync with each other. Let's be honest, there's no better way to unwind from a day of watching epic multiversal slugfests than to tune into the ongoing romance of everyone's favorite couple, Gambit and Rogue. For those of you who are late to the party, Gambit's a suave, something like that, Cajun thief who can blow stuff up. Rogue's a sweet southern belle who can absorb anyone's powers with a touch, maybe even mine. They both joined the X-Men, a team of mutant heroes based on Earth, and eventually fell head over heels for each other. Against all odds, their unlikely love grew stronger, and they eventually got married and headed off on an epic honeymoon that's taken them across the galaxy, ending in the heavenly Grand Garden. Seems like things couldn't be more perfect, right? Wrong. There's trouble in the cosmic paradise. As much as Gambit has tried to become an honest man for his bride, he is still a thief at heart. So he signed up for one last heist, a job that Rogue doesn't know anything about. Now the Grandmaster is whispering in his mind, reminding him to hold up his end of the bargain. Could he go to that old jerk and try to charm his way out of the deal? Maybe. But as lucky as Gambit is, he's not willing to risk his current state of bliss on a roll of his Chronovium die. He has to finish the game he started. So Gambit's sneaking out of the honeymoon suite in his fancy white and gold hooded thieves guild regalia, leaving the sleeping Rogue behind and looking back at her longingly. With that whole best of wives and best of women vibe. He thinks what she doesn't know won't hurt her, but here's the twist. Rogue does know. She's not actually asleep, and she's well aware that her Prince Charming is up to no good. Again, hiding behind the guise of a honeymoon. It's gonna break her heart. And Rogue's not the only one who Gambit isn't fooling. He may be one of the best thieves in the entire universe, but his sensational stealth skills can't trick someone who feels even the faintest shifts in the magnetic field. But Gambit likely remains blissfully unaware that the ever-restless Magneto, not one for early nights, is currently out in the garden, admiring the everbloom flowers that only bloom on the shadow passes of Mount Wundagore. Magneto knows he's up to something. The entire house of cards that Gambit built could come crashing down. I don't know what happens next, but I can guarantee it's going to be as wild as one of Gambit's aces. Luckily, I still believe in the one force in this universe stronger than the power cosmic, love. Alright, the next one is Cosmic Contest. When the elders of the universe first united their cosmic domains, they knew that it would only be a matter of time before the Grandmaster decided to challenge them to one of his contests to determine who would reign supreme over the converged realms. The Gardener and the Contemplator had no interest in participating in the Grandmaster's tiresome game, but the Collector was not about to cede power to another elder without a proper fight. So when the invitation to play inevitably came, the Collector was eager to accept. The premise was simple. Each elder would create avatars of powerful champions from any reality they wished.
Unlike these lifelike pawns, they would participate in a game of wits, presenting attackers and counter-attackers one by one, eliminating their foes until a single champion remained. The prize at stake? Control of the Elder's amalgamated realm, and one object of choice from their opponent's vast collections. Always the gentleman, the Grandmaster allowed his opponent to make the first move. Based on the rare specimens displayed in his beloved gallery, the collector had crafted a piece modeled after Captain America. Only this Captain America he chose was a variant who had been transformed into a werewolf. For my opening move, I present a soldier. Not just any soldier, a super soldier, and a most savage one at that, the collector declared. The Grandmaster countered by playing Angela, a great huntress who hailed from heaven, the 10th realm of Asgard. The collector's savage super soldier was quickly laid down by Angela's spear.
A soldier turned wolf? For such a beast, a huntress is more than enough,
Endwigast replied. Next, the collector summoned Iron Man to the board. Despite wearing a crude version of his earliest armor, the legendary craftsman shattered Angela's spear in a flash. None knows a huntress's tools better than a craftsman, the collector added with a delighted gleam in his eye. When the Grandmaster introduced Emma into the game, she never even had to use her powers to claim victory. Instead, she swayed this young version of Tony Stark with her vast fortune, bribing him to remove himself from play.
It seems even the craftsman cannot resist the wealth, Tivon,
Endwigast observed, a sly smile playing on his lips. As much as Tony Stark coveted money, Emma Frost coveted power. So, when the collector sent in an octopus-like version of Namor, his promise to make Emma the queen of his realm was enticing enough to earn her allegiance. To be queen is to possess all the riches of the realm. Is it not why you began this contest? The collector retorted. The Grandmaster believed that every king was corrupt at their core, so he dethroned Namor with Moon Knight, a soldier devoted to doling out divine justice in the name of his deity.
How many thrones have been toppled by the fists of justice? In all these years, have we not seen it time and time again?
Endwigast mused, stroking his beard thoughtfully. But the collector realized that even righteous justice could be twisted with the right words, and who could turn truths to lies better than his next chosen player, Lady Loki? Have you forgotten, my brother? We have witnessed far more lies and intrigue than justice, the collector countered, slyly raising a glass to his lips. The Grandmaster acknowledged his opponent's clever play, but knew that conspiracy could only breed in shadows. And so, to shed some light on the game board, he sent out the Human Torch.
But we must admit, it is light that lets the cosmos endure,
Endwigast concluded, hands clasped behind his back, self-assured in his victory. As the collector grew more frustrated, he reached for his next pawn. But before he could play it, an alarm suddenly began to blare in his gallery. This game would have to wait. While the collector rushed off, the Grandmaster gave a sly smile, knowing he had succeeded in distracting his opponent long enough to win a different game and claim his true prize. The next one is called Broken Vows, and this is going to be Gambit and Rogue. Remy Etienne LeBeau, what in the name of Charles Xavier do you think you're doing? Anna Marie, my share. Don't you share me? It ain't what it looks like. It sure as heck better not be, cause it looks like you got yourself wrapped up in another caper on our honeymoon. I guess it is what it looks like, but I can explain. I'd be quick about it if I were you. Our gracious host, the Grandmaster, offered me the chance to put a heist of a lifetime, and all I had to do was steal one scrap of paper from the Collector's Museum. And you were actually dumb enough to think you could get away with it. You may be the best there is at what you do, sugar. I won't tell Logan you said that. But even you ain't got the skills to hoodwink an elder of the universe.
Wish I could disagree, but the Collector played me for a fool.
He didn't have to work hard. Easy now. How's I supposed to know the contract was fake? Even the Grandmaster believed it was real, that he was holding it in his hands. Can't say he was too thrilled, eh? So you managed to botch the job and take off two of the most powerful beings in the universe? That's impressive even for you. Not sure I've seen you look this angry, mon amour. Or this powerful. You're positively radiating. And I ain't just talking about how lovely you look in the moonlight. What's going on? When you snuck out in the middle of the night, I got worried sick. Usually, you don't leave the slightest trace when you go. But this time, you left this behind. The Grandmaster's Carnovian was paying for my services. He was going to forge that into a new ring for you to replace the one we lost. That's the whole reason I took this job. I wanted to make you the most unique wedding ring in the whole damn universe. But I couldn't reveal part of the plan. The Quiet Council would never let me go, stealing across space just for a ring. So you lied to me before we even left? This whole trip you never once told me what that thing really was. When I touched it, I accidentally absorbed some kind of strange energy, and then my powers started going haywire. I can't control them, Remy, and now that I know what you were up to, I ain't sure I wanna. You gotta try, before you drain the life out of me and the rest of the garden. But first we better get us both somewhere safe. How about the port back to Cocoa? I married the gateways, all withered away. Not going back now. I already considered going home without you, but Eric said he can't resist letting me go back till my powers are stabilized. As much as I hate to admit it, it's the right choice.
Well, if you don't stop yourself, love, the Grandmaster's gonna be coming after us too. Guess there's only one thing we could do, and luckily for us, something I might be good at, you know, since I was just a boy.
What's that?
We run, as far and as fast as we can. We never look back. You with me, Cher?
Always. But I gotta admit, when we said till death do us part, I never expected it to be so dang soon.
And that was Broken Vows. Again, I don't think I'm really good at, you know, Gambit's accent, you know, but you know what I mean? Hey, we try, man. We getting better, hopefully. Anyway, the next one, or rather even just the last one, is Museum Security. Museum Security. And this one sets up the next season. So yeah, this one is going to be focusing on the Collector.
Terrans. Why does it always have to be Terrans? The vexing creatures of Earth have long been thorns in my side. Always desperate to play the hero and liberate my prized possessions from my collection. It's simply exhausting, but this time they have gone too far. It was bad enough when that meddlesome mutant sliced her way through my guards. Along with the land shark and that cosmic empath. But now I must deal with petty thieves running through my hollowed walls. The audacity! I truly believed that the state-of-the-art safeguards I put in place would prevent my treasures from falling into the wrong hands. Take, for instance, the contract that the Terran thief called Gambit just attempted to steal. It was quite obvious that the Grandmaster had his eyes on that particular item for some time. So I would have been a fool to leave the original unprotected. Thus, I stored it in a cabinet made of chronovium crystal, which completely isolated it from the time stream, ensuring it would no longer be at risk. In its place, I displayed a well-crafted duplicate in my gallery, and at first, the thief was none the wiser. But how was I to know that his mutant mate Rogue would so happen to absorb the power of chronovium from my cabinet, turning it into just a regular old glass case? Now that they are trying to make their escape with the true contract in their hands, these bothersome bandits must be taught a lesson at once, preferably a harsh one. I would love to lock the fugitives away in my menagerie for all eternity, but there are far too many of their fellow mutants currently visiting our domain. I would merely be asking for another attempted breakout, and though it would be unlikely that they would succeed, I've not the time nor the patience for the kind of cleanup that follows an event like that. Instead, it would be best to remove these two mutants from the equation altogether, and with all the trouble they've caused, I doubt that even their scrunchiest allies would miss them. It would be easy to send my guards after them, to scour every corridor, until they were cornered like trapped rats, awaiting extermination. But since the Grandmaster was the one who caused this mess in the first place, I feel strangely inspired to beat him at his own game. And I know just how to do it. Believe it or not, I happen to have a few Earthborn operatives of my own that have been working for me behind the scenes. A blathering, foul-mouthed mercenary and a monster hunter as deadly as she is beautiful. They already know my gallery well and won't hesitate to pull the trigger when they find their target. Plus, they will make the chase far more amusing to watch. Perhaps Terrans are good for something after all. That was Museum Security, the last one. That leads into season 6. And I like how they connect them, bro. I like how they connect the episodes and stuff. It's really fun. It's really fun to you know, see that. And this one, I like this season in particular. I think it's one of the better seasons, if I'm being honest. It has, like, I feel like the writing is getting a little bit better, and that just like the story that they're trying to go for is a little more fun, and it's more stuff happening that's more interesting. So I think they're definitely getting better with the story as they're going. But if you haven't seen the previous episodes of the lore reading, I've read pretty much all of it until this specific season. We haven't read season 6 yet, but let's be honest, that season ain't even over yet. So I mean, we haven't even gotten the second character yet, so we might have to wait on that one. But either way, I hope you enjoyed either way. And like I said, check in the description down below, top line of the description for lore stuff. And if you want more lore, you want more dramatic readings, you want more acting, voice acting, more, you know, skits and all that, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, you know what I mean, for more W content. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and watch the video that's on the screen right now. I'm sure it is a good one.